morning, IT Arena. How are you? Woo! Слава Україні! Щось я це не чув до сьогодні. So, okay, I hope that you like this provocative title of this talk, yeah? From coder to advisor, how engineers' roles evolve in the AI era. I've also promoted one initiative. I do like to put more quotes of famous and smart people in presentation. What I've observed during latest 10-15 years that we do like to put, quotes of Tom Ford or Elon Musk or other people, but we are not so often putting quotes of some smart Ukrainian people. So the first quote is this one. AI will not replace skilled developers. So I'm not those kind of person who thinks that, yeah, in a few years we will live without the job. No. However, it will lead to smaller, leaner teams and higher standards for these senior developers. Yeah, and this is my phrase. So if you want, you could put it in your presentations in future. Yeah, as it was already mentioned, I do like stand-up comedy. So if you do like to, work on your presentation skills, to work with your stress level during presentation, you should try stand-up comedy. Because currently no one were expecting some jokes from me, so it's not so dangerous to try, At least your expectation is very low, and if it will be really a real stand-up comedy performance, the people is usually behaving like, come on, was it a joke? I've paid money, it's bullshit, no? So you can try. As it was already said, I'm founder and agile coach in simple sense. We are helping companies to work more efficiently. I'm QA in the past. I'm guest lecturer in Kyiv Mogila Business School. I'm co-founder of volunteering initiative Agile with Ukraine. We've collected about 30 million hryvnias for our defenders by doing trainings. And I'm co-organizer of Simplicity Day and experimenting in stand-up comedy. So, AI. AI is taking over routine tasks. I hope that you've already observed it and you are practicing it, yeah? So we can say that skills are quickly becoming outdated. We are not living in the era where you can, study 5 years, during 5 years in university and then work with the same specialization and same skill set and tools during half of your life. We are not there already, yeah? AI can already generate code, write tests, optimize queries, optimize test coverage, as it was presented in previous presentation by speaker. Yeah, it can also design diagrams and UI. It can break down your Figma, and based on this Figma, it can create some foundation for code for future development. It can help you with the composition, with building roadmaps, with creating user stories, with acceptance criteria instead of managers. Yeah. What left for humans? It's some more complex problems, more complicated tasks, where you need to integrate cross-disciplinary collaboration, where you need to integrate this, system of the people. So it's another kind of architecture where smart systems should work together. And these teams will become smaller because when all of this routine will be somehow optimized by using AI agents, we will not need like 50 people to create an e-commerce portal. We will need like 12, maybe 15 people. And they should be nicely integrated with AI agents. And in such teams, I'm not sure that we will need a lot of coordinating managers with so-called people skills, that they will go to one person, will take a specification from that person, then they will go to another person, translate it into their language, explain it in a written form, put it into Jira or some other shitty platform. No, no. The future looks differently. From my perspective, maybe I'm totally wrong, but currently I believe that the future will be different. Yeah. If you haven't seen this video, The Role of Humans in AI by Henry Knieber, by the way, who have seen this video? Do we have such a people? Kirill? Yeah. And Nikita, of course. I was sure in you guys. But as for others, if you have some colleagues who are still on the very basic entry level into the topic, you can recommend them this video. Henrik Kniberg is one of well-known practitioners in Agile, Scrum, Spotify. He was a person who created this blog about Spotify engineering culture. Maybe you have heard something about it. And there were a very famous video about product ownership in the nutshell. So it's kind of the similar video, but about AI. So I'm not the person who believes that AI will replace software engineers. No, definitely not. It's about evolution of dev roles and interfaces between customers, between business and machines. Yeah. Some years ago, it was about binary translator. Give me the task and I will bring 1 and 0 in a correct place. And then it was about compilator and about assembler before, and we were counting bytes, and afterwards we start working with OOP, then some framework appears, and this entry level become easier for people, yeah, but still we need a person who does the job, who does the job, and in the future these people will be working with an interface of prompt engineering, of building multi-agent systems, and someone need to work on these systems to be in the center of it by using the brain, not surprisingly. Let's think about this primitive question. Who and what is business looking for when building a technology product? You can shout. If you engineer, what for? Problem solvers. Oh, great, awesome. Problem solvers. And what do you most often hear from developers when you bring them complex, not nicely described, not nicely clarified business problem? No way. Okay, what else? It depends. Too complex. Awesome, awesome. It's that auditorium I was looking for. Okay, okay. I've collected a few gifts for you. You know, tomato, tomato. Different words, same meaning. Not in a billion million years. That's ridiculous. Yeah. So many excuses. It's a whole galaxy of excuses. It's technical challenges, resource constraints, time limitation, security constraints, complexity issues, scalability issues, non-functional requirements are not met, blah, 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 blah. I've been working with Netherlands customers for some years, and they've said, like, we do like to work with you. You're very nice people. You are highly motivated. You are not scared to work, you know. You haven't heard anything about work-life balance. We can rely on you. But there is one small problem. When we are bringing a real business challenge to you, the typical answer is like, oh, come on, it's unreal. You shouldn't even start to do it, you know. And they say, like, it's a little bit irritating. And probably you know what does it mean in Dutch culture, a little bit irritating. If to directly translate it into Ukrainian, it will be a rude word. It's really irritating. And what about business? How do they feel about this? Oh, no, no way, not in a billion years. Something like this. No, God, please, no. Just help me to solve my problem. We've hired you to solve the problems. We're paying money for it, and quite a good money to be, yeah, concrete. No, 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 no. What I'm trying to highlight, yeah, so instead of saying why it's impossible, we should concentrate and explain what do we need to get most out of what is possible. What opportunities do we have? What scenarios can we propose? Quick and dirty, some ideal, more or less good enough to try, safe enough to deploy. We should talk. We should propose. We should think in a business context, not only from context of like, why don't I want to try this approach? Yeah. After all, we're spending more than 40 hours per week with each other in offices. Yeah. And sometimes it's more than I get with my own family. And I want to have, you know, more positive emotions after this conversation between business and developers in office. I want to feel some, proud sometimes about what we've done. I want to feel this team spirit that we are working together on common purpose. I want to feel desire to go back to office at Monday morning after IT Arena, of course. So definitely we need to invest more in the quality of this communication and collaboration. That's what I believe. So I do believe that the future, and nowadays, the past, to be like very concrete, developers should be tech advisor for product people. So it's about real collaboration of equal partners. So you know what and why we need to create. I can bring you solutions how we will do it. So it's not about this contractual client-contractor relationship. They said, I've done it accordingly to description in Jira. Okay, but it's a bullshit. Yeah, I've seen, but it was there. I've just implemented. So yeah, and for me, it's about sharing ownership for the outcome. It's about what's going on. It's about finding solution together. Yeah, it's about celebrating wins as a team, and it's about continuously refining our processes. Because as an agile coach, I'm hearing answers like, it's not my responsibility to think about our process quite too often, Why do we need processes in software development teams? Maybe they should somehow, support developers to create an outcome. So who is the customer of these SDLC processes? Who is the end consumer of these processes? Agile coach? No, definitely not. Product manager, somehow related. So it's for you, for developers, for engineers, first of all. So for me, it's a little bit strange if my wife will propose me another processes in the family and I will say it's not my responsibility. Am I really involved? What is my real desire in this team? I'm not sure. Hopefully she is not here. So M-shaping and multi-learning. This is the key terms in this presentation. Multi-shaping and multi-learning. Why it is important and what it is about. Probably a lot of you have heard about T-shaping, yeah? So I-shaping, I am a strong specialist in one expertise with deep understanding and deep knowledge. T-shaping, together with this one area of a specialization, I have a few of other specializations, not so deep, but I can relate to. I can speak about it, I can ask something, I can understand the context. Yeah, it's not a full stack yet, but it's more than one stack already. P-shaping, it's about broad awareness about business context and a few specialization in core domain. We also have heard something about E-shaping. It's like wide experience in different domains with a few expertise. And now they're also talking about X-shaping. I do believe it's big consultancy money. So they need to create new letters to sell it to executives next year for billions contracts. I'm not there yet, but I'm working. I'm already working. So what is M-shaping? M-shaping, it's about multi-learning, and it's about few expertise and core skills and soft skills. It's about ongoing process of developing these skills in diverse domains, which means your mindset towards your skills development built on the understanding that this will be not so relevant in the future, so you need to look at the new areas and skills continuously. So your self-development is like your hygienic moves, This allows you to stay flexible and adaptive in a world of rapid technological change. Why M-shaping? Because, as I've already said, technology is changing rapidly, because projects are becoming more interdisciplinary, yeah? We are not doing something very narrow, because teams becoming smaller and leaner, and the focus is shifting from projects to products. How to foster M-shaping and multi-learning? So, first of all, learning fast. Mini courses, micro courses, books, blogs, and try something out of your comfort zone. As for me, for example, to show some lead by example, during last like 3-6 months, I'm continuously trying different AI-related tools. For example, I was using Napkin AI to create some visuals for this presentation. I was working with Gemini to help me create a better English phrases instead of Ukrainian, which were in the slides before. And I'm playing with another tools as well. And the main idea is to learn how to learn faster. You know, it's a core skill, learn how to learn. Working in a cross-functional teams, meaning not just sitting in a group of people named cross-functional team and doing your single specified job as a manual QA, clicking on the elements of UI. No, 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 no. To be a part of this team, as a football team, you know. This evening, it's a great surprise for me. This evening at 6 p.m., Karpaty Lviv is playing with Dynamo Kyiv here. So I'm planning to visit. I wasn't on the stadium for many years, and it's such a surprise. Thank you, IT Arena, for inviting me here. So working in cross-functional teams, meaning be a, you know, playmaker, being a midfielder, being able to go and help your defenders, being able to go and join during attack and score the goal instead of strikers. It's not your job, it's not your role, but you can help, you know. That's what I mean when I'm saying about working in cross-functional teams. Mastering the intersection and showing curiosity beyond your defined roles. Like, okay, how does it work? Where can I get more about it? What could I try to make it happen? Okay, I'm not so overloaded as you are, guys. I see that this manual testing don't give you opportunity to start creating automated tests. So maybe as a backend developer, I will not take another backend task which will not be tested after, and I can help you with automation, and I can educate you how to do it. And as a team, we will win more in the nearest future because we will be more balanced, more cross-skilled, and you know, it's about the team work, first of all, for me. The third point, strategically select third and second areas of deep expertise. Yeah, it's about this M letter or about any other of E, X, and etc. So, for example, you are good in engineering backend. Okay, awesome. You can bring some knowledge about DevOps and infrastructure and CI/CD and work in that direction. And also start thinking about the product management in your domain to better understand the context. What are you building and for whom and for what and why? And then you will be much more skilled and you have better chance to win a competition for an awesome role in an interesting startup or product company. And of course, it's about participating in internal rotation. Your company is starting a new product. It's a great opportunity to try something new instead of sitting on the same chair for 10 years because it's so comfortable and so warm. Yeah, it's taking part in hackathons, in experiments, and visiting such conferences as IT Arena and others. It's a great opportunity to build your skill about learn how to learn. And another not so positive for me personally, not so positive point about learn how to learn. To make it happen, you should also learn to unlearn. Yeah, because, you know, our memory is not unlimited. To put something new there, sometimes you need to erase something which was there before because of conflicts, because of dependencies, because this new is looking out of your, you know, mindset. You're like, oh, no. I worked here for 10 years in this company. The sun is still rising there and going down there. We're successful. Every town hall, I've heard from our CEOs that we're growing. I can see it around, more and more people, better salaries, better chair in office, new MacBook Pro. Why should I try this shit? Previous life became successful because of my approach, yeah? So to learn something new, you should be ready to say like, okay, it was awesome for that period of my career. This approach was great at the beginning when we were a small startup of 1-2 teams, but now we're 12 teams and we're competing with the world giants. So probably we need to try something new if we want to play in that league, you know? So we were great in League 2 by playing on Fridays and drinking beer after. But now we're in a Premier League, so probably we should try different trainers, different approaches, and so on. And that's why I have a question to you. How much time per week your key developers are investing to knowledge sharing? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, investing, not spending. Investing. How many minutes per week your core developers investing in knowledge sharing? No, yeah? Because they are too busy. We have a backlog of urgent tasks for next 6 months. Don't touch him. Don't interrupt him. He needs to do the job. And why he has so many jobs for next 6 months? Because he is the only one who can do this job. And why he is the only one who can do this job? Because no one else is learning from him. And why no one is learning from him? Because he is too busy. Because it's a waste of time. He needs to do the job. You see? We call it recursion, yeah? In complex work, learnings and experience are as much valuable as deliverable features. If you want to go deeper to this theory, you can look at Kinevian framework by Dave Snowden, for example, especially in such an area called complex domain. And in complex domain, to make it not so complex, not so undefined, the main value is learning outcomes. We need to experiment, we need to probe, and we need to get an experience, and it's a cycle, it's an iterative approach, and we need to do it continuously. So make sure if you are using some iterative, Scrum-like, Agile-like, whatever you call it, approach, that in your sprint plannings you have at least a few elements of your backlog taken, pulled to your sprint, which is related to getting new knowledge. Otherwise, the world is going faster than you can adapt. And one day you will suffer from it. And soft skills. Soft skills is not would be a plus in your job description now. Soft skills are the new core skills. In linear teams and in learning organizations, yeah, as I said, there's simply no else to handle the people work. The people job. Who should do it? And why we're paying money for it? We are all people. And after this day, in some pubs around the city center in Lviv, you will be speaking with each other. And I've seen it yesterday. And it works without management coordination, you know. It nicely works because you have a common purpose. You are inspired. Wow, it's so interesting. Why we are not so inspired about talking with product people and business people about new features, about next increment delivery? Why so? I could not understand it for years. And as I promised at the beginning of my presentation, I want to put more quotes of Ukrainian people. And this is a quote not from me this time. This is from the book of Olena Zheltsova. She is co-author of the book Soft Skills to Be Yourself. It's not translated to English yet, I hope, but it's a great book if you are native with Ukrainian, and I can see a lot of faces who is native with Ukrainian here. I highly recommend you to read this book. And she is using metaphor like this. So soft skills are cat's whiskers, vusa. Flexible, delicate, subtle, and incredibly helpful. Yeah? They allows you to sense the environment and its slightest vibration, to navigate even in the most complex surroundings and through the darkest times of the day. So the soft skills is something like that. Soft skills are timeless, you know, this half-time period of elements, you know. So, I don't know, some version of Angular 2. How many years is a half-time period? Few years, yeah. Symfony, some version of Symfony. Few years. Node.js, okay. PHP, manual QA, okay. A little bit longer. But soft skills half-time period is much, much longer. So you are investing your time and your energy once, and you are using it maybe during your whole life. And surprise, surprise, not only in work environment, also in your families, with your friends, with our parents, maybe grandparents, if you are still privileged to speak with them, yeah? So you can carry them with you across your roles in job, roles in social environment, organizations, and they can be foundation for your next hard skill. So what I'm trying to say is that soft skills becoming core skills. And based on these core skills, you can add more and more hard skills. It's easier to get them with AI agents. It's easier to learn something now. It's available, it's everywhere. And you are more safe to try. A lot of sandboxes, a lot of opportunities. You just need to use them. But you also need to work on this part of your skills. I could imagine that some of you are sitting and thinking something like this. Oh, come on, Artem. So I won't find a job without all of this? Ha ha. Yeah? Do we have such a people here? Please raise your hand. Be honest. It's like a meme with Victoria and David Beckham, you know, be honest. Okay. You are not here. They, not on this talk because of the title. Ah, come on. I don't even want to listen about this shit. Okay. So yes, sure, you will find a job. Definitely so, yeah. And it's all about the quality of opportunities and your ability to compete for the best positions without these skills and without this mindset. Yeah? And as well, my favorite meme, for now. You will find a job for now, as Homer Simpson usually says. And of course, this slide. Who is in and who is out? Keep out of my code. Let's work together. Yeah? When we will need to keep less headcount in our organization. Who is in and who is out? You know the answer. And at the end of the presentation, I want to share a case with you how we've implemented the core skills as a part of a personal development plan of the salary performance review system in one of the company I was working in recently. So we've started from the core competency model, and we've looked at the position. And the position of the engineer, and not only engineer, any person in the company, consists of three main pillars. First of all, it's responsibilities. A little defect. As I said, I was a QA in the past, and you know, this karma is always with me. So responsibilities and roles is the first pillar. The second pillar is a core skills, which I was mentioning before, and we will be talking in the next slides about it. And professional skills, in brackets. Why? And professional skills. So we've designed a system in which we recognize three levels. Me and my tasks is the first level of commitment of the person in organization. It's good enough to start working in an organization. So you give me the task, I will do it properly with a good quality in time. It's good enough for junior, yeah? Maybe medium, rare, not senior yet. Another level of commitment and mindset is when I'm thinking about the team and our features, not only my subtask in Jira, but about the feature as a whole, end to end, from the customer request until the usage on the end customer machine or device or whatever. And the third level is when I'm thinking about our organization, because maybe we are multi-product organization, maybe we're working in different domains, and I'm thinking on this level, like who we are, what we are doing, who is our competitors, what products are we deliver to the market, and so on and so on. So it's three levels. And then you need to choose some core skills which are critically important for your context, because there are no silver bullets. Yeah, of course, not using approach like one size fits all. No, please. So you need to choose. And this was created by OpenAI plus Napkin AI. Of course, I was not doing by my hands. How to choose your core skills for your context? I recommend to start with your company DNA. Not with Z values which are currently on your t-shirts or coffee mugs, with your real values. And when I'm talking about real values, I mean something, what do you truly value in your organization, starting from the C-level and founders and investors, which mean like, what gets rewarded? Which kind of behavior will be rewarded? With the promotions, with the praise, with the naming this person on the town hall, like, this is a great person, this Volodymyr, he's collecting money for cars for defenders of Ukraine, so let's appreciate it. Yeah, this kind of reward. And what gets punished? Not punished like, oh, don't do it, but really punished. Yeah, what what behavior could lead person to be fired or to public criticism or to dismissal and so on. And based on this, you can choose some core values. For example, in my case with Mono, it was customers and customer centricity. It was about results and it was about collaboration, because usually on all of the core leadership meetings, all the discussions were around like what we are bringing to customers. Do you think about the customer, how it will affect the customer, or where can I see the result, why results are not there yet? So we were very result-oriented, and it's also about collaboration. And based on this thing, you need to create a model with behavioral patterns and explain it to your teams. For example, like this, teamwork. Yeah, you can create a comics, like let's take a look at this together, versus blocker. No, it's not in my component. Two different approaches. And we need to describe it somehow with pictures or with text, like ignoring blockers on your teammates' tasks. No. Understanding the problem and offering specific assistance. Yes. Yeah. And we are describing it on the 3 levels, like for people on me and my task, for people like my team and our features, for people who pretending to be on the level organization and our products and our business. Staying silent unless asked directly, знаете? Do you know this pattern? I've switched to Ukrainian on emotions, sorry, yes. So, like, no, it's not my problem. Maybe no one will ask me. I know the problem is, but I don't want to spend time and energy on it. Versus proactively clarifying context. Okay, guys, I've heard something, I've seen something. Let's look from the different perspectives. Yeah, it's desirable behavior versus not desirable behavior. Another example, continuously learning and trying new things versus, oh, it's not in my role responsibility. Or you can describe it as, that's not how we do things here, Artem. You are a new person, so, yes, thank you. Versus, I embrace new tools and methods. Okay, let's try, let's experiment. Let's look what will be the outcome, and then we can iterate. Another example about user centricity. I understand the full user journey and where my work fits into the bigger picture. Versus, what the heck of the meeting in my calendar? Why do I need to look at the customer journey? It's a job of a product manager, not my job. Just tell me what to do. Not my ticket in Jira. Yeah, you've seen such people? Maybe they're in this room as well? No, of course no. Okay. So what you will do next? First, you will describe these patterns of behavior. You will present to the team, maybe with some workshops, so people can reflect, so people can laugh on it, can troll each other, like, hey, Pavlo, I've seen you last week with this behavior. Oh, go fuck yourself, yeah? So we need to embrace collaboration. And then we are updating competency matrices for levels and roles in our organization. So the senior, it's not the person who passed an exam for English on B level. No. The person who works in the company for 5 years is not definitely a senior. And the person who works here for 2 years could be a better senior, you know. So we need to build the proper matrices of competencies. And then we should define what are the minimum core skill levels for senior and lead developer positions. And we need to contract about it with people, to collaborate, to explain, to get an agreement, commitment. And what is the optimal setup for product team? So it's okay if in your product team you have people of the first level, me and my tasks, but it's not okay if all of them on this level, you know? And it might be very expensive if all of them on the third level. So we need to look for some optimal setup for a product team and moving towards this setup. And it will bring more opportunities for people to grow. Maybe some of them couldn't grow deeply, you know, vertically, but they now can grow horizontally. They can take more roles, help others to grow, so it's an opportunity. Of course, after this, if you are the person who will implement this, you need to handle waves of intense criticism and blame. So you need to work with your psychoanalyst or maybe go into church, I don't know. So it's up to you. And then we are giving feedback to colleagues and we are creating personal development plans. Maybe you need to provide some 180 or 360 questionnaire about the patterns and level of each other. It's very powerful when, for example, developers are giving feedback to their tech leads, and tech leads could be very surprised with this feedback, especially if it's anonymous. And then we are monitoring personal development plan progress. Yeah, we are leading up to the next performance and salary review period to make sure that it's not only the words, it's not only, proclamations of the bright future. It should be supported by an organizational structure, by structure of performance and salary review, by structure of the roles which you can get or not, and so on. So that's it. I'm done. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your smiles and openness.
Thank you so much. And we have 7-8 minutes for your questions. So who want to ask some questions to Artem, please raise your hand and we will give you a microphone. So, if everyone...
We still have 5-7 minutes for questions, so please.
Don't worry, yeah.
I see the hand at the end of this line. Lady
right here, lady right here in the left. Okay, we have one more.
Hi.
You are talking about these patterns, and in order to start implementing them, starting changing them, you need to change the culture of the team, of the organization.
Yep.
So when you come and you hear this, this is not the things how we do it here.
Yes.
So what to start from? When you are one against everyone is resisting, you face the resistance from everywhere. What to start from to change everything?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, I will recommend not to expect to change everything. Then your burnout will come later. Second, you need to find allies. You need to find allies who are also interested in this change, because you cannot work and walk alone in such an environment. You definitely need some other senior stakeholders who are ready to collaborate with you to make this change. And the third one, kind of last but not least, that culture could not be changed by itself. And with this, as I said, like nice words on the t-shirts and walls, like our core values, the culture in big structured organization follows structure. And yes, thank you, Kirill. So culture follows structures, which means if my CTO will show me this presentation, but afterwards, in a few months, I will have 2 one-to-ones with my tech lead who will say to me, just ignore. You should work on your skills in .NET and in microservice architecture and ignore all this bullshit about soft skills. Otherwise, you will not be promoted to senior. You will be middle developer in my team because I am the boss here. Then you are in a big trouble. Yeah. So this tech lead should be also interested in this change, which means that now as a senior management, we should evaluate his or her success differently. Not based on his reports he's showing to us about the performance of the people and the team, but maybe based on the growth of these skills in his and her teams. How they are changing now is a measure of your success. And if you will not show it to us really, not in slides or blah blah, then sorry, you will not be promoted here to CTO level, never. Or maybe we will look for another tech leads for a new teams, and maybe someone will show better behavioral patterns. That's what I mean. And it's not about firing people. I'm promoting job safety, but not a role safety. And if we're changing, you still can be a part of a Dynamo Kyiv, but you will be sitting there in reserve squad. You still have a job, you still have a contract, you still have a salary, but you will not be playing in the first 11. And for the first 11, I will hire another players because it's not good for such a club to be in such a positions to lose for such a clubs in Eurocup. So this is the idea. So you need to change the structure first, and that's what I've mentioned in slides. That's why we started from PDP, from competency levels, from competency metrics, from education, and we've announced that like in a half year, it will be a core part of review and performance for everyone on all levels. And definitely you will need to have a support of C-level of course. Yeah, thank you for the question. And lady, please.
Yes. Thank you, Artem. My
You're
name
welcome.
is Nafisa. Thank you so much for the presentation. Unfortunately, my question almost the same like the previous one, but in the presentation you said that you have to be a worker that has not only his responsibilities but also cares about others. But
Yes.
what if the company does not encourage that? What if the culture of the company says that you just do your job, you get your salary, you get your benefits, and you just shut up?
Okay. Which kind of answer do you want?
The honest one.
Careful or honest one? Honest and direct? If you are interested in your future career, if such a developer is interested in his or her future self-career development for the top-tier roles, I will recommend to reconsider the duration of future collaboration with such company. That's the honest answer. Otherwise, you can sit in this company for years. For years. I know a lot of such people. They're struggling. Thank you, everyone.